Greetings! I'm What Hamster, and guess what we're going to start the day out with? Cat abuse. That's right. I'm giving him a bomb. There's 3 kinds of bombs you can give him. Bounce, small, and large barrel. I showed off the large barrel bombs already. Let's see the effects of a small barrel bomb. And he goes flying. Ah, cat abuse. Always fun. The plus bombs basically just get you different items. And as you can see, the small barrel bomb gives the least amount of items. And honestly, really has the least, well, it has the worst list of items that you can get. I'm not too fond of it. But as you can see, I'm wearing a little bit of a new set of gear. Let's go back to the house and check it out. This is I believe, the last gear set. I forgot to show this one off the last time. But that's okay. We got a little hood and some really funky pants and just clothes. And I got this really goofy looking gun lance. And trust me, this type of gun lance is really bad. It's not even really worth using. I'm just showing it off. I'm going to be using it for this, though. Don't get me wrong. Now, there's something I actually want to show off here. Let's take a look. Our gun lance today is the average hitter. And the poison line of gun lances is the bane of my fucking existence, if you'll pardon my French. Why is it the bane of my existence? Because to upgrade them, you have to get Gypsyros heads. So, you know, it's not too, well, it's okay in damage. It doesn't have any sharpness at all, and its poison value is complete and utter crap. Its shelling level it's decent, I guess, but it only has normal type shots. I don't know. In general, the poison and sleep gun lances really aren't worth it. Just FYI. They just don't really do enough damage. But here's what the gear set does. It actually does quite a bit. Combined success 25%, and it's actually pretty good to wear if you don't have all the books. Alchemy, which is a special, which basically allows you access to special combines that you normally otherwise couldn't do. You can also get a alchemy guidebook, which will allow you to do it just by having the book in your inventory. And then fishing expert for, you know, fishing. 1 bob and the fish always bites. And the abnormal status effect. So, you know, all around, not a bad armor set, you know, for gimmicky stuff. Now, I'm going to actually show one of the alchemy recipes off, if I can find it. Here we go. Now, through alchemy, I can take an antidote herb and a toadstool, which is a poisonous mushroom, and make it into a, well, a blue shroom, because I cured of its poison, I guess. And there's all kinds of other items. It's pretty much, it's not that great. There's a couple of items that I could see me actually using this to get. Like, I could turn burnt meat into raw meat again. That's not bad. And if I really don't want to go out and farm certain items, I can get them through alchemy. But, not too great in general. So, this is what we'll be wearing today. Also, I want to show off 2 other things. I have bought from the guild shop, the offline haul, of course, a attack power amulet and a defense power amulet. These will not break. I can bring them along with me wherever, whenever I want. And as long as I have them in my inventory and they don't get stolen, they are pretty much eternal boosts to my armor and power. You can use crafting to, or well, combining to upgrade them. Then I can buy a new set of power and armor charm. So then those 4 items will stack and boost my power even more. Of course, I don't have access to the materials I need to upgrade these. Another thing about boosts is food. There are 3 kinds of boosts. The inventory boosts, which are the charms. Then there are food, slash drug boosts, and then there are the what is it called? Pill slash seed boosts. Seeds and pills, they don't stack because basically the seeds are worse than the pills, and the pills is just a crafted version of the seeds. So they'll actually give you a pretty damn big boost, but they'll only last for a couple minutes. So you use them like, you know, the monster's just about to run into your trap, you use a drug, and then you just wail on the monster and unleash, for example. And then there's the drugs and food buffs. If you get a large attack boost from your food, then don't ever bother using a Mega Demon Drug, because you're just wasting the Demon Drug. Instead, I'd say go with, for example, an Armor Drug. But you can stack these three groups, but you can't stack, like, say, food, drugs, pills, seeds, and items. You can't do that. So that's just a quick explanation on how the buffs actually work. I thought I'd like to explain this because in one of the previous videos I was sitting and wondering how it actually worked out. You know, I think it was Heat Wizard and me, we weren't exactly too sure on how it worked out, and I was actually doing mistakes by taking demon drugs and food buffs at some point. But what we'll be doing today, we'll be doing the Twin Velocidrome, mainly just because this gun lance is so sucky, and it's just to show it off. I'm showcasing it, getting this over with. Something about the Twin Velocidrome here is it's basically one of the first missions where they sort of ease you into having multiple monsters on the battlefield at once. And again, they give me plain throwing knives. If I was smart, I would have brought some toadstools or tranquilizers or something like that, and then I would combine them so I could have like some status affecting throwing knives. But it's the only way to get a hold of throwing knives. You can't make them, and at the end of a mission, you lose them. Otherwise, I'd stock up on status affecting throwing knives and just use them. And I just forgot something here. Let's get that stamina up. And something I want to do. I want to use a Psycho Serum. As you can see, there are 2 Velocidromes. Now, the dangerous thing about multiple monster fights are that they can gang up on you. When you're fighting in one area, they can just decide to show up and both fight against you. Now, it's just Velocidrome, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But if you're fighting, say... just to give a really horrible example, if they tossed 2 Congolalas after you, you might consider, well, running. Paintballing them both, then running, and then keeping an eye on them until they split up. When they then split up, you attack them. That's at least my tactic. There's probably people who are really hardcore and can like fight multiple without, you know, without what's it called, blinking. I should probably focus more on the fight though. There we go. Bam. And he's already running. So yeah. Also about the charms, they don't give that big of a boost. It's just, but I think the charms are like 1 or 2%, and the talons are like 2 or 3%. And there we go, two of the guys at once. But it's not that great, honestly. It's not that big of a boost, but combined with all kinds of other boosts, you can get a pretty hefty attacker boost. For example, if you're using a longsword and he's standing there. But yeah, with a longsword, you can get a pretty hefty attack boost, which is one of the reasons why people do prefer longswords. It's because when you power it up with your spirit gauge, you get an attack boost, and pretty early on you can get some massive attack boosts, like over 1,000 attack power, which is something you can only do with two-handed great swords or something pretty late on. So that's one of the reasons why the longsword is generally a favorite weapon in this game. Not to mention the fact that it's extremely mobile, and this guy just won't stand still. Ah. Oh, never mind. Ah. Again, I've never really been good at fighting these guys with, I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm paying more attention to talking now. If you've ever tried to do a Let's Play, it's really hard to talk and think of what to say and play a game at the same time. Some people it comes very naturally to, but someone like me, I'm already as socially awkward as you're gonna get. Well, okay, maybe not as you're gonna get, but yeah. And he's dead. And notice, none of them even, well, they're pretty weak to begin with, but they didn't manage to get poisoned. And trust me, if it had been a stronger monster that had been able to take more hits, they'd probably only manage to get poisoned like once from this weapon, if I was lucky. Because that's just how weak the poison damage is. I've seen some of the later ones of the poison gun lances. They do seem to have a pretty decent base damage, but that doesn't make up for the lack of power. I mean, not power, but the sharpness. Just carving up some kills here. And I probably can't reach this body. No, can't. Darn. Oh, can't do it with that shield. Oh well. So, this is one of the first missions where you're basically told, go kill multiple large monsters. And it's basically made to sort of ease you into some of the later missions in which you will see that they'll love to send like you up against multiples. But for now, I don't think there's really too much else to say. This was just mainly to show off a bunch of things. Mainly the weapon. And the multiple that they're starting to send this up against multiples. Until next time, I will see you then. Laters.